The one thing that should be mandatory for everyone to learn is evolutionary psychology. Evolutionary psychology is the fundamental basis of all human behavior. Every single thing that you are doing, feeling, thinking, seeing is the result of evolution. Even things like the color of your hair, the type of food that you like is the result of evolution. And of course there are plenty of other factors like your upbringing and your environment and things like that. But for the most part, the biological mechanisms in your body and the reason that you do things are evolutionary. The reason that this is something that should be mandatory for everyone is because you learn and understand human behavior so much more. It applies to absolutely everything in life, and you can use it to understand why we are the way we are and understand your body's biological mechanisms. And basically, it's not just necessarily learning about evolutionary psychology, but it's basing your life around how our ancestors would have lived. Because evolution takes millions of years, our bodies are designed to still live like our caveman ancestors. Isn't that kind of crazy? And you think how they're living and how we're living, and no wonder there's so much disjunction in mental health problems, body problems, and just everything. So if you use evolutionary psychology and you template your life from that of our ancestors, then you can improve your health, your well-being, and just everything so much more. And again, of course, there are some problems with living like our ancestors, some issues that they would have had that we don't have. For example, getting killed by a tiger in the woods, or not having access to healthcare which can save your life. But for the most general part, and you have to kind of use your initiative with this, tailoring your life to be more leaning towards that of our ancestors will benefit you so much. For example, something as simple as the fact that our ancestors would have walked like miles a day, and for them exercise wasn't exercise, it was just doing what you had to do to live. So the fact that people these days don't even exercise is just mental. No wonder there's so many diseases and mental health problems. I'm telling you, if everyone just exercised, if everyone did a walk like an hour every day, probably half of the world's problems would be gone. I don't know, it's a rubbish number, but you know what I mean. There are definitely some main things which you can do. It's like things like the walking or the types of foods that you eat, which will just increase your lifespan by so much, increase how good you feel. Just honestly, man, it's crazy. I was listening to this podcast the other day about blue zones, which is basically this thing where there's like 5 places around the world where there's tons of people who live to like 100, 105, 110, 120, and they were like 80, 90-year-olds hiking up mountains for 5 miles. And to me, that just sounds beautiful. I don't know about you, but I want to be someone who's, when I'm 50, I want to be fully functional. I don't want to have knobbly knees. I don't want to have rickety, I was trying to think of a rhyme, but like joints and things like that. And when everyone tells me, oh, when you're 30, when you're 40, when you're 50, everything starts going bad, your body starts being worse. I'm like, no, shut up. I don't want that. It's not going to happen to me. I don't care if I'm being stupid, I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to let that happen to me. If I'm hearing about these 90-year-olds who are hiking up mountains every day, running faster than these people, then why can't I do that? That is honestly one of my dreams, and if that sounds stupid, then, well, you go enjoy your knobbly knees, mate. And that's yet another evolutionary thing, because those people are eating whole, real, pure, few foods. They were walking, exercising every single day. They weren't near plastics, weren't near toxins, not near anything. They're spending time with their family, their community. They're just doing real things, living a real, wholesome, pure life. And they're living forever, and they probably have the best life. Because that's the funny thing as well. You think, oh, but how would that be happy? That would be boring. No, I'm telling you, you're evolved to live like that. If you have your family, you have your social circle, you have your exercise, you have your good food. That's like the dream life for most people. Of course, you do have to have purpose, have things to do. It's more about intertwining as much as you can of that kind of lifestyle with the kind of modern day lifestyle. And to me, it's just kind of crazy the amount of problems that stem from doing things which aren't in accordance with that kind of lifestyle. It's just things like sitting down and the effect that it has on your body and the body's mechanisms. Like I was listening to another podcast where it's talking about your pelvic floor, and basically if you sit down all day, then you have like erectile dysfunction and things like that. And to me, it's just crazy. It's just our bodies telling us that we're not living how we're supposed to live. And everyone's so ignorant, looking for other ways to fix ourselves when you just need to live more like your ancestors. Now, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of this kind of has to be anecdotal. You kind of just have to imagine in your head what you think they'd be doing. So it can lead to some inaccuracies, such as some people saying, oh, you would only have 1 meal a day. Some people saying you only have 1 meal every few days or whatever. Like regularity of things, the exact details of things, it's kind of hard to always tell. But it's just essentially, again, you're leaning towards that kind of lifestyle as opposed to trying to live exactly how they live. As well as this, It'd be interesting for you, depending on your ethnicity and your actual background, to find out how your genetics are tailored. For example, if you're someone from Asia, maybe you've got different tailoring towards different foods. Maybe different foods are better for you because you're evolved to like foods that are from that region. So maybe if you have like English foods or something like that that aren't really great, then it will, you know, cause inflammation or whatever in your system. I don't know, it's just a bad example, but since we all have so different backgrounds from different things, maybe there's certain things which you're tailored towards which you don't even realize yet. Now, just final point, you can go extreme with this if you want to, which is kind of what I do. Of course, everyone always tells me, oh, if you're so into evolutionary psychology, why are you using your computer? Like, come on, In as many situations as you can, really, just keep it at the front of your mind and try and think about things and try and replace them with others. Do something else instead and think about, oh, that's that. Oh, what if I did that instead? For example, I've got a metal water bottle here instead. You know, all this talk about plastics and estrogenics and stuff like that, I don't even know, man. There's science. I hate science stuff when they argue with each other and no one has a clear answer about anything. But I'm thinking, plastic, what the hell even is plastic? I can't even tell you how it's made, what chemicals it is. And I know that my body isn't evolved for that. Simple. I'll use as little plastic as I can. Or it's like things like chewing gum or just any kind of artificial sweeteners and whatever. Oh, but this sweetener has actually health benefit. But what is it? I don't know what it is. And of course, if I do research and understand, okay, yeah, actually this one is all right, then yeah, maybe. But for the most part, it's like a safety barrier which you can keep away from things which will do you more harm, likely. So it's things like minimizing plastics, not eating things like chewing gum, which isn't even food, or like sweets. Like, how can you eat Haribos? It's not even edible food. You read the list and you can't read one thing apart from sugar and water, which is actual food. And you look at it, does it look like food? No, it doesn't. How does it even taste like a strawberry when it's not fucking strawberry? It makes absolutely no sense. I don't know how society has programmed people into thinking it's okay to eat that. Is honestly mental. And also, actually, final point, there are of course many other factors which feed into your behavior and how you are the way you are and why you prefer certain things. Like I said, childhood experiences. Again, it's just a general basis and foundation for your outlook on behavior to understand. So basically what you need to do after this video is go and search up evolutionary psychology, get some books maybe, search up on YouTube, just start to gain more of an interest, process things more and think about things in a line with thinking about your ancestral life. So think about, oh, what am I doing today? Okay, I'm sitting at a computer all day. Okay, well, our ancestors wouldn't have done that. They would have been walking around all the time, had a big meal at the end of the day or something. So you know what, today I'm gonna go on a long, nice walk with my family. Something as simple as that. If you watch more kind of content to do with it or read more books, you kind of build up a better image in your mind of what that lifestyle kind of is, and it will just help you improve your mind and body so much. Like, I feel so alive, I'm telling you, man. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'd really appreciate if you could click that Google form. It's the top link in the description. It'll take you like 2 minutes, just a few questions to help me out, and I can help you out because it's telling me what kind of videos you want, so I can even make a video tailored to your needs. But I hope you enjoy this video. See you in the next one.